There are moments in life when the version of you you've been living begins to feel unstable. Not wrong, just no longer coherent. The new moon on February the 17th is a solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius. And this solar eclipse squares Uranus. This is not a gentle reset. This is a recalibration of identity. Now, an eclipse symbolically represents a shift in identity. The light is obscured and the familiar reference points disappear. So when the light returns, something in you is no longer configured in the same way. You are somehow changed by the eclipses. So eclipses don't just bring events, they accelerate evolution. And at 28 degrees of Aquarius, which is near the final degree of a sign concerned with individuation, higher consciousness, higher wisdom, and authenticity, we are closing a cycle around who we believe ourselves to be. Aquarius governs identity in the collective field. It asks, who am I among others? Where do I belong? What future self am I oriented toward? And again, at 28 degrees, we're at this threshold. Something about your mental self-image, your social identity, or your concept of freedom has reached completion. This eclipse may reveal where you've outgrown a role, a belief, or a way of belonging. And because it squares Uranus, that great disruptor and the great awakener, it's a shift that is not going to feel gradual. It's something about awakening to an uncompromising truth. Uranus does not negotiate with outdated identity structures. It destabilizes them. Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Yolanda. I am a certified Western astrologer and a life coach with over 20 plus years of experience. And I work at the intersection of astrology, myth, symbolism, depth psychology, and somatic awareness. If all of this interests you, welcome you in the right place. Now, this solar eclipse really is about coherence, because coherence becomes non-negotiable. But to understand coherence, and I speak about this a lot if you've watched my videos for a while now, let's talk about what I mean by incoherence. Incoherence is when your inner truth and your outer life are not aligned. It's when you say that you value freedom, for example, but continue choosing what restricts you. It's when you say you want intimacy but avoid vulnerability because that's what it requires. If you want to be intimate, you have to be vulnerable. When you say you're ready for change, but you remain loyal to familiar survival patterns, it's the gap between what you consciously believe and how you are actually living. Now, that gap drains enormous energy because it takes effort to maintain an identity that isn't fully embodied. And under this eclipse, that fracture line becomes visible. If you've been saying one thing and living another, if you've been calling something authentic when actually all you're being is reactive, when you've been clinging to a version of yourself because it kept you safe, this eclipse exposes it. Not to punish you, but to free you, because that is Aquarius energy, to free you. Okay, now this is where it all becomes constructive. Saturn is in Aries. Hallelujah. Thank you. Leave a comment if you are as grateful as I am. I am an Aquarius rising. So leave a comment if you're as grateful as I am that Saturn has moved into Aries. Anyway, Saturn is in Aries, and Aries is raw willpower, instinct, initiative, desire. And Saturn in Aries is about learning how to use our willpower, our drive consciously. This transit provides an opportunity to learn how you direct your energy to achieve your goals. For the will to work effectively, it must be disciplined. It can't be misdirected by unconscious drives or reactive impulses, which, by the way, becomes more tempting with Saturn in Aries, because Aries can behave in an impulsive manner and is very reactive. Unconscious impulses drain our energy and turn into unproductive activity. You'll feel busy, or you'll be very busy, but you're actually going to be scattered. You'll feel activated, but you're not actually building anything durable. Now, I do have a short course that will help you with this energy, because this new moon, by the way, is also the start of the fire horse year. And my short course is called Tending the Fire. So I will leave details on that in the description box. But anyway, let's continue. So Saturn slows you down so you can see this. You can see where you are following your unconscious impulses, and you just, you're just busy, but nothing's actually turning into something concrete and durable, something that is going to stand the test of time, right? So over the next couple of years, until 2028, Saturn is going to offer you a training ground. And if you work with him, you can develop self-mastery over your impulses and your desires. You will become more disciplined if you lean into Saturn in Aries. You will become more intentional, more internally aligned, and that's going to build strength. Now, I just want to say quickly as well that the placement of your Mars, your natal Mars placement, is going to become very, very important, okay, over the next 3 years. Saturn in Aries is going to ask, are you reacting, or are you choosing consciously? Are you driven by impulse, or are you directed by purpose? He's going to limit your energy in certain ways, because that is how Saturn is. Saturn is limitation and restriction. So he's going to limit your energy. And this is a good thing. Okay. I'm not going to touch on it much when we do the forecasts for this new moon, but I am going to say you want to look at the house that you find, your Aries house, right, where you're going to find Saturn now, to see where he's going to help you be more intentional and where he's really going to help you focus. Okay. Use him. He's going to force you to make realistic plans, and he's going to ask you to rethink some of your goals and motivations around that house where you find Aries in your birth chart, right? Let's also touch quickly, because I want to keep this video quite, not an hour-long video. Neptune in Aries. I mean, a good way to think of Neptune in Aries, because Neptune is now in Aries, is to think of the dream of your new self. The dream of your new self. Neptune in Aries is going to dissolve old fantasies about who you thought you needed to be. It's going to blur the line between authentic desire and ego-driven impulse. And a new longing may suddenly emerge. It's going to be something around new beginnings, a desire to start again, a desire to define yourself differently, and to move towards something that makes you feel more alive. So the invitation here is, let your longing be something real, and let Saturn shape it, help you make this longing into something real. And let your vision be inspired, and your discipline, the Saturn in Aries discipline, can anchor this vision in reality. So Neptune gives you the dream, Saturn teaches you how to build this dream. This Aquarius eclipse, just in closing here, before we get into our forecasts, is square Uranus with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And this is all about sculpting identity, about forming identity, a true identity, a new identity, not through chaos, but through exposure, through visibility. You are being shown where you've been incoherent. You are being shown where your will was misdirected, your willpower, your drive, and where your desire is still unconscious. And you are being invited, quite frankly, into sovereignty, into agency. So, all of this is to say that this is an invitation to align with your deeper nature. This is what I call coherence. Eclipses change us. This is very true if an eclipse is occurring or happens on a point in your birth chart, like your ascendant, your descendant, or on a planet, okay? The light goes out and something recalibrates. So this eclipse is not about dramatic upheaval, but it is about developing the courage to live in alignment with who you are becoming. And if you are feeling this, if you are feeling that you are at a threshold, if you sense that an identity is ending and something truer wants to take shape, this is precisely the kind of work I support in my coaching practice. My coaching practice is astrologically guided. It is mythically and psychologically grounded, and it's also deeply practical. I am currently booking new clients. I only work with 4 clients every quarter, so my calendar is filling quickly, but I do still have space. So if you feel ready to do this kind of work, then you will find the link in the description box. Now, let's dive in and look at your forecasts, your horoscopes for your sun and rising sign. Okay, Aries sun and rising. This solar eclipse is happening in your 11th house, and so the sun and moon are square Uranus in your 2nd house, Taurus. And it's ruled by Saturn in your 1st house, right? Because Saturn and Neptune are now in Aries. So I can tell you that you are definitely going through a profound identity shift. You are aware that you are releasing layers of false, a false identity, but layer upon layer, you're just shaking it off. You're just becoming more of yourself, more authentic, more unwilling to put on a facade, unwilling to act like someone that you're not. Again, it's like I said earlier, you are not willing to pretend you are fitting in where you are not fitting in. This is especially in a social scenario, or you're not pretending that you belong to, a certain group anymore, because you've done with that. You're done with a particular group or association, a bunch of people. It's now done. You're tired of that. You have to move on. I also see, and of course, I don't have access to your personal birth chart, but there is this very strong possibility that there is a rupture in a friendship. So a friendship ends rather dramatically or suddenly, and it could be, because this friend, passes away, or something like that. And again, this eclipse, we are in eclipse season, so this may have already happened recently or is going to happen. It doesn't just mean like death or something like that, but it's definitely something rather unexpected occurs to a friend. They may be hospitalized or something like that. But anyway, the primary message here is that you no longer fit in with a particular group of people or a certain friendship circle, and you have now decided to move on. Okay, Aries, Sun and Rising, do let me know if this resonated, and please like and subscribe. Taurus, Taurus, Sun and Rising. So this new moon in Aquarius solar eclipse is happening in your 10th house of your career and square Uranus in your first house. So something has happened, and I know I've touched on this in other videos, but this is definitely going to happen within the next 6 months if it hasn't happened already. Your role at work or your profession, you've changed profession possibly, or you've been promoted and you no longer identify as. So, for example, say you were in senior management and now you're suddenly the CEO. It's a whole identity shift. You no longer, you don't recognize that previous role. It's definitely a change in role or change in profession. If that has not happened yet, it's certainly going to happen over the next 6 months. And it also has to do with your reputation. The way I see this, Taurus, I mean, if you've been behaving, okay, if you've been doing good things, if you've been behaving, then your reputation is solid and you're going to see an increase in admirers and people really looking up to you. But if you have not been behaving, then this is not going to work out so well for you, this eclipse and over the next 6 months. But certainly, let's stick with the positive here. There is promotion, there's elevation, increase in your reputation, or like I said, it not so good. But let's stay with the positive here. And then, of course, Saturn moving into your, 12th house is you're going to, there's a shift in identity, but it's a hidden thing. You're not going to make it visible yet. I think by 2028, you're going to come out radically different. So it's quiet work. And you're going to get guidance through your dreams, through your intuitive hunches, ancestors, connecting with your ancestors. That kind of work is going to become very, very important to you going forward over the next 3 years. But anyway, Taurus, do let me know in the comments if something's already going on with your career, your profession, and your reputation. Okay. Next up, Gemini, Sun and Rising. So this new moon in Aquarius, Gemini, is hitting your ninth house of travel, foreign people, foreign cultures, your spirituality, your religion, your beliefs, higher education, that kind of thing. And squaring Uranus in your 12th house, let's do the positive. The positive thing here is that something really extraordinary happens around that. So for example, publishing deals also fall under the 9th house. For example, you may suddenly get a publishing deal and it's an exceptional deal, or you sign the contract around this time, or you get a new position, working at a university or a place of higher education, maybe even a place of spiritual education, religious direction, that kind of thing, a church, a monastery, or you go away to an ashram, and it's all very sudden. That might happen quite suddenly. That's the positive. The negative is that you find out that something has been hidden from you, and then the solar eclipse kind of exposes it. Where you are shifting identities is around beliefs about whether you are, good enough. If you are spiritually deserving, if you are deserving of whatever is happening to you, that is going to be it's all to do with your self-worth. And so this is where you're going to have this shift where you're going to realize, hopefully, that you are deserving of all the good things coming your way. This is going to be an important shift over the next 6 months, Gemini. Okay, do leave a comment and do remember to like, please, if you if this resonated with you. Okay, next up, Cancer, Sun and Rising. So Cancer, Aquarius is your 8th house, which is an intense house. It has a lot to do with psychological transformation. Also with ancestral stuff, so karma, things that we've inherited from our ancestors. So what I'm seeing here, I mean, I don't want to sit with each sign too long, but because there's a lot going on here, Cancer, Sun and Rising. But let me say this. This eclipse is going to help you awaken to the fact that you have the tools, the ability to change your karma. You do not have to stick with the same patterns. You do not have to perpetuate ancestral patterns of whatever it may be. For example, perpetuate patterns of poverty and scarcity mentality, where you feel you have to hold on tightly to every penny. You cannot be more generous. Or the opposite, where you feel that you can't accumulate money, that you are struggling. All of this is just one example. There are many other examples, but I have a feeling that this is tied to your prosperity, your abundance mindset, right? This is something to do with that. You do have the power to release these patterns and shift into a new identity around this. This is a deeply transformative eclipse. You are going to feel it. You are going to expand into you're going to shift into a better sense of self, or better, higher self. Very powerful. And then, of course, Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house. This shift is going to benefit you in your career and give you more visibility. Just a wonderful, wonderful eclipse. Cancer, if this is resonating with you, do leave a comment and do remember to subscribe and like. Thank you. Right. Okay, so Leo, Sun and Rising. So Leo, Sun and Rising sign. This eclipse is happening in your 7th house. And this is somehow something about your marriage or your long-term partner or your business partner. But actually, it's a little bit more than that. If you're in a business partnership, unfortunately, I don't have good news for you here. I don't think that things are going so well with this business partner, and you're going to receive unexpected news around the time of the eclipse, or you've already received some bad news. And if you haven't yet, then over the next 6 months, certainly there's something surprising around this business partnership, even possibly your marriage. I don't know what planets you have here. I don't know, we'd have to look at your personal chart to get into the finer details here. If you are not in a business partnership, then something is going on at work with probably a boss or a colleague, a team member, right? And I'm not foreseeing good things here for you, Leo. So there's tension, arguments, disruption. So you will want to be careful there. Saturn is moving into your 9th house. So the good news here is that over the next 3 years, you're going to have opportunities and your identity, by the way, is going to shift because of an opportunity to either, get a higher, like go back to college, higher education, take a new degree, take a course, or you're going to pursue your spiritual goals. You might go away, monastery retreat, ashram, that kind of thing, or you may start traveling more. and this is going to help you shift your identity and elevate your consciousness. So that's the good news there for you. So anyway, Leo, Sun and Rising, do leave a comment and do remember to like and subscribe if this is resonating for you. Virgo, Sun and Rising, this eclipse is occurring in your 6th house of health matters, daily routine, job. I don't think that things are going so well health-wise at this time. Unfortunately, like right now, eclipse season, 18 days before the eclipse on the 17th and 18 days after, you may need surgery for something, or you may be struggling with inflammation, headaches, primarily something to do with the head, the eyes, that kind of thing, but definitely inflammation related, or even possibly something to do with your digestive system. But anyway, it's not particularly good news around your health if you have been struggling with your health. Job-wise as well, I feel that there is something disruptive going on. Again, I don't know your personal planets. I don't have access to your birth chart, so I'm not sure what it could be. Like you have to move suddenly. Something disrupts your daily routine here. So that may be happening. However, you're getting some help from friends. Friends are helping you, especially when it comes to, they're helping you through social media as well. You're getting a lot of messages, you're getting a lot of support. Let me know in the comments if this is resonating for you. Okay. Right. Libra, Sun and Rising. So this new moon in Aquarius is happening in your 5th house. 5th house of children and romance, play, fun, all those good things. And yeah, what I see here is some unexpected news, surprise, something to do with a child. A child might surprise you, or it might, let's hope it's good news. You know, Uranus sometimes brings good news, sometimes not so good news. Possible good news is, for example, a financial win. Like if you play the lottery or something, you might actually win something. You know, again, I don't have access to your birth chart. I don't know what planets you have around here at the 28, 29 degrees of Aquarius and Taurus. But anyway, you could win some money, but generally speaking, if you have children, then expect something going on with one of your kids or a child. Around this time, around the eclipse time, 18 days before or 18 days after. And this eclipse energy is active, by the way, for about 6 months. So something may still come up. What else is happening here? Saturn has moved into your 7th house with Neptune. This is a fantastic time. I think I've mentioned this in other videos, for you to commit to a relationship from now until 2028. So if you are serious about someone, if you are in a relationship, love relationship, and you want to get married, or, you know, formalize your union, or maybe retake your vows, this is a fantastic time to do so. Leo, Sun and Rising. Anyway, do leave a comment leave a comment, and do remember to subscribe and like if this was resonating. Okay, Scorpio, Sun and Rising. This new moon in Aquarius occurs in your 4th house. And Saturn is in your 6th house now. So the shift in identity is going to occur around your daily routine. What you're doing every day is somehow going to help you in this shift, this new realization that's coming your way. Like, and I think that you're going to make changes in the home. There's, you know, it could be renovations. You know, Scorpio, it could be something as well relating to, yeah, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm actually kind of seeing this. Maybe some water damage. Anyway, renovations, maybe moving home. You finally moved into a new home. but there's a surprise here. There's an unexpected thing that's going to arise. So either 18 days before the eclipse or 18 days after, if it, so if it hasn't already occurred, if you haven't actually moved house or started renovations, you're about to, and it may have something to do with water damage. Okay. Anyway, the shift in identity is definitely coming around your daily routine. And it might have to do with your health. Your health, there's a certain health matter that might arise or has arisen that is going to force you to make some changes. By the way, I don't see it being anything serious. Obviously, I'd have to look at your birth chart, but I do think it's that you're becoming aware that you have to make these changes. Your body isn't so happy about certain things that you're probably eating, ingesting, and you're making these changes. All right, Scorpio, Sun and Rising, do leave a comment if this resonated. Sagittarius. This new moon in Aquarius is hitting your third house of siblings and communication, your immediate neighborhood, your neighbors, your immediate community, the way you speak, all of that, even social media. Now, what I foresee here is a possible move, a job-related move. You may have to move because of work, and it might be quite unexpected. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, you didn't see this coming. And again, you might know already about this because eclipse season is in effect, 18 days before, 18 days after, and the energy is very active for 6 months. So this might still come up that you have to move quite suddenly for work. It may be work related. So there's this change in your neighborhood. So you're in a new neighborhood. You suddenly find yourself mingling with different people. And then, of course, Saturn moves into your fifth house. And, oh, okay, interesting. This move may introduce a new love into your life. You may get into a romantic relationship with someone over the next 3 years because of this. Whatever happens now is going to lead to this romance, even possibly a child. Okay, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, do leave a comment and do remember to like and subscribe if this resonated. Capricorn, this new moon in Aquarius is hitting your second house of earnings and self-worth. And yeah, you can definitely expect money. It might be an unexpected sum of money. It might, something unexpected happen and yeah. Like a lottery when not even an investment. It's a gamble that you took and it paid off. That's the way to describe this. A gamble you took and it's paid off and money's coming in. That's fantastic news. This is the shift that's going to occur for you in identity is going to be around your role as a parent. So you may find yourself, you may be a new parent now, or you're parenting. The fact that you are a parent already is going to help you, with this shift in identity into owning this more, if that makes sense. Like the responsibility of your role is really going to sink in for you. The possibility as well of you moving homes or buying a new home, very, very high as well. Capricorn, Sun and Rising. This is over the next 6 months. Do leave a comment if this resonated for you. And then Aquarius. So yeah, Aquarius, this eclipse is happening in your first house of identity. Self-identity, self-image. And let me tell you, you are very, very aware that you are changed, transformed, and you are no longer afraid to speak your truth and to show up as yourself. You have no problem now being visible. If you're not quite feeling this Aquarius Sun or Rising, believe me, over the next 6 months, that's going to change. You have no trouble anymore speaking your truth, owning who you are, being authentic, presenting yourself as your true self. And this may lead to fracture or rupture, rather, in the home. Not everyone in your family or immediate living space is going to be very happy about certain things, but so be it. This is necessary for you. So be it. This is going to lead you to greater things, Aquarius Sun and Rising. Do leave a comment if this resonated. Okay, Pisces Sun and Rising. So this eclipse is happening on your 12th house, which is the house of secrets, of, retreat, rest, and also deep psychological transformation. And square Uranus in your third house, it tells me that you may come into some unexpected news or information that is going to be disruptive. It's likely to be unpleasant news. It's certainly going to disrupt your life somehow, right? And also your state of mind. But what the transformation that is occurring the shift in identity has to do with like lineage, with secrets. I mean, for example, let's say you went and wanted to know about your ancestry and you ordered something, you sent off DNA to check your ancestry, and you may be surprised by the results. It's this kind of vibe that I'm getting from this eclipse. But there's also, again, a sibling, for example, or a neighbor may have some news that is going to be disruptive, and likely not so great, that is going to impact you. There is the possibility of a move, but I would have to, of course, see your birth chart to see what planets you have in these places, in Taurus and in Aquarius. You may also spend time in hospital. That's another possibility as well. You may be undergoing treatment for something. And when Saturn moves into, well, Saturn is in Aries, so Saturn is in Aries now with Neptune. You may be receiving some money at this time. And over the next, this is an important thing. Over the next 3 years, Pisces Sun and Rising, you really want to focus on saving money as much as possible, because something unexpected is going to happen that is going to impact your finances. Okay. I know this doesn't sound too great, but please do not stress. This is, over the next 6 months, something that is going to disrupt your life may occur, but it ultimately is going to be for your good. Okay, all right. Thank you for watching, Pisces. If this resonated, do leave a message, or do leave a comment, and do remember to subscribe and like. Okay, so thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.